and would you believe it, it is raining for the first competitive session of the season. Hello everyone, and welcome back to New Era F1 Esports for its 12th iteration of the championship. My goodness, have we come a long way, but it is time to kickstart Season 12, and we do so at Silverstone. And not for the first time we have a season opener here, but maybe for the first time we have rain in our opening rain or our opening session of the season. And this is going to be an intrigue like you would not believe. 19 cars on the grid out of 22, a couple of people not making this opening race. They'll be at a disadvantage for next week because this race essentially as well acts as a qualifying session for the sprint race next week out in Belgium. But it is time to get the season underway. First out on circuit is former NEF1 champion O2 Hasey, previously known as Gonzo. Now Tess, reigning champion, out shortly behind him in his Ferrari. As said, reigning NEF1 champion, the second driver in NEF1 history to win more than one championship. Noah out on circuit as well. Welcome to Season 12. Along with Makis 97 and Squidge 2017. And Marina 89 in the Cadillac for the first time in a competitive season is out there as well. And this is going to be intriguing. I didn't think we were going to have rain this early on, but it started off early then here around Silverstone. Now, this is going to be a bit interesting because qualifying in the rain is going to be a little bit more pure than anything in the drive, because now the drivers have restricted access to boost mode and straight mode for that matter. So we're going to see less lifting and coasting than we would if we didn't have rain. So this could actually be a positive. We'll wait and see. Everyone currently out on a sort of intermediate tires to start this session off. Matty Adam then coming out of the pit lane in his new Red Bull, the car which he won the championship in Season 2. Djokovic in the Audi, I believe still sporting his Aston Martin helmet. It's a bit unfortunate. And Reina in the Cadillac, we've gone over that. SSR Halo with his switch to Ferrari. Beautiful black and gold helmet actually. Really, really nice. Wiggins 71 in the McLaren, in which he's had so much success previously. If I'm not mistaken, got his one and only race win in NEF1 in the McLaren, but I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on it. Squidge 2017 in the Mercedes, I believe for the first time. Mackers in the Racing Bulls. A33 BT back into the Alpine. Noah remaining in the Aston Martin. Wildcat into the McLaren for the first time. E69 F1, formerly known as IFC Eli, if you're a long-term viewer of this league. Back in Season 1, I used to race this lad back when we just started up the league. Is returning to NEF1 in Alpine. Ray W25 in the Aston Martin hasn't quite come to grips with this car yet. We'll see what he can do through this opening race of the season. Tiger Octave in the Cadillac alongside Marine 89 for a very, very exciting lineup. Tess in the Ferrari we mentioned, Onricek in the Audi. But who is going to be first to cross the line on a flying lap? We might have to wait and see on that. There's a couple of red dots moving around. That could be Tess actually. Could be one of the first ones to come across. There's a lot of red dots on the map now, and two of them belong to Audi, and you can't see any difference on the track map as well, which is a bit of a problem for me at least. We'll have to deal with that as Tess has a little bit of a moment going through the sweeping right-hander following the hanging straight, so that's one to watch out for if we have continuous incidents like that. As here we go then, Tess is about to set the first lap time of the season. It's going to be about a 1:42, I reckon, 1:42.5. Will quickly be followed up by O2 Hasey on a 43.851. Next to come across the line will be an Aston Martin of Noah 48 to come across the line. Set a 42.717, goes second fastest with that effort. Then we have a Racing Bulls. Is that Mackers about to cross the line? Yes it is, and he goes for fastest 43.9, slowest out of any driver so far. Two Cadillacs are about to come across the line. Tiger Octave ahead of Emrain there. Tiger Octave in P4, 43.405. And Squidge goes fastest, 42 flat, half a second faster than his championship rival. E69 F1, 142.353. Evidently got a little bit of wet pace. We're going to see what he's able to do with that over the course of this session. Now, battery management, as said, not too much of a thing to deal with. Matty Adam, very, very good in the wet conditions on the previous iteration of the game in the old generation of cars. How do these cars suit him is a question. As for whatever reason, it's put Iwatts in a Mercedes. We'll have to live with that for the time being, but Iwatts should be racing for Red Bull. That is very, very weird. We're gonna have to live with that for the time being, as mentioned. Matty Adam, gets a little bit touchy coming across the line. He goes 7th fastest on a 42.744, just a bit slower than Noah's. Tess goes quickest out of anyone with a 41.443. And are those track conditions improving? Which is a big improvement up from Squidgy's 42 flat. It's a very, very big improvement. Then we have a 33 BT currently going through Max and Beckett's behind his teammate, and is just losing it a little bit coming out of Beckett's. But onto the back straight then, the battery is deploying, but not at the rate you would expect. A little bit of a tow from his teammate, and they make contact in the early stages of qualifying here. And once again, when Adam BT is in, A33 BT, when he is in that Alpine, then he has contact with his teammates. That was entirely on E69. But BT still, regardless, 42.325. Could that have been even faster without that contact? You would imagine so. Squidge has come across the line as well not long ago for a 41.595. And Ray has just come across for a 41.726. But controversy here early on as Iwatts in that Mercedes now. That should be Red Bull, mind you. In P19. That's the first time we've ever had that issue when someone's not joined late as well. I'll have to live with that for the time being, as previously mentioned. Halo at the moment, needing to find a little bit of pace. He's stuck in P18 with his teammate out front on a 45 flat. He needs to find a good 3 seconds probably. As Tess goes even faster than that, is now almost 4 seconds ahead of his teammate on a 41.274. And what is Iwatts going to be able to do as he's coming across is coming up the chicane to end the lap, and we are now seeing a dry line start to form. So the question is, the rain is just letting off a little bit. Are we going to have dry running come the end of this session? Iwatts then across the line goes 15 fastest, 43.496. An alright lap from him. Needs to improve by a significant amount. Mr. Wilco is in P17 at the moment on a 43.811. O2 Hasty down in P18, also needing to find those relatively big improvements. He's coming up to the second split. He's found about a 1/10 of a second in the first sector. As ABT has gone second fastest on a 141.529. And are these regulation cars just suiting him that little bit better? Noah in third place as well, with Squidge in fourth and Ray in fifth. As we're about to come across line with Squidge 2017 once again. It's a bit of a different running when you're running in wet conditions. You don't necessarily get only one lap out of a set of tires. You can overfuel the car, go for a couple of consecutive laps and still keep finding improvements. As long as the tires don't overheat, you are good and golden. Djokovic has found himself up to P6 alongside his former teammate Wiggin71, who is up into 7th place. That's promising pace from the Swede. E69 is down in P8 at the moment, ahead of Undercheck, ahead of Emrain and the Cadillac, who we are yet to see too much from over the course of this qualifying session. We'll just go on board with him for a little bit then. But the rain seems to have intensified now. Question is, are track conditions going to start deteriorating once again? Because this rain definitely heavier than it was a minute or two ago. I believe at the 10-minute mark, looked relatively easy now. Rain definitely has intensified. Mackers goes fastest out of anyone. Welcome to Season 12. Say to the man who distinguished himself a little bit in Season 11. as, well, thank you Squidge for ruining that moment. Goes faster than anyone on a 140.603, but that was a good lap from Mackers. Very, very excited to see what he's going to be able to do throughout this season, as Tess is now finding those improvements as well. An A33 BT is coming across the line for non-improvement apparently. Never mind. As Matty Adam just needs to up his pace a little bit, but this is not a competitive lap, I can tell you that from the onboard straight away. As with Tess through Magden Beck is throwing that Ferrari into the corners and is seemingly sticking with him quite well. Ray up at P2 at the moment, 41.022, 4/10 of a second slower than provisional pole position, but the rain is intensifying now. Then this might be the shot that these drivers have in order to set that lap, and it might be as good as the track conditions are going to get. Mr. Wilco has improved up a little bit to a 42.828. He's up to P15. Kinder Williams down in P16 at the moment, and Tess goes fast out of anyone by 6/10 of a second. Oh, the wet pace from Tess is undeniable. As the teammates of two clear championship contenders are struggling here. SSR Halo in the Ferrari and Iwatts in the Red Bull. Right now Mercedes, both struggling a little bit as Iwatts comes across the line here. He's going to find improvement. Yes, he does, up to P16. As Squidge goes even faster than Tess, and this is going to keep happening for a little bit of time, it feels like. As Noah's about to come across the second split once again, he's improved up to 140.1. and is finding more time in Sector 1 as well. So, we are not going to know anything until this session is over, I've got a feeling of. Say BT doesn't improve on this particular lap. Wigan down in P10, P11 now, as SSR Halo now has found that lap that needs to break into the top 10. It's 141.926. Crucial for him to get that lap time in, but we've got a 2-second split separating the top 10. That's not talking about the top 20 or the top 19 or the entire field. That would be known as well. Wigan falling down at the moment a little bit, but he's not going to lap on these new set of intermediates under the slightly better conditions. Tiger Octave then, P13 at the moment, 42.1. How much time can you find on this track is now clearly quite significantly in a better state than it was at the beginning of the session. The first couple of laps we saw, I believe, were about 43s or 44s, so we're now down to 39s in one particular case, and we're down to a 39.6 for Noah 48. The track definitely is improving. Tiger Octave comes into the pit lane at the end of that lap with 5 minutes to go, and it's just continuous running, which is quite fun to see, but it is so easy to just miss out a lap or two, so we're going to have to monitor that. So any changes on that left-hand side of the leaderboard you want to stay tuned to. You might be want to watch that leaderboard more when you're watching the actual on-track ongoings. Mr. Wilco then down in last at the moment, needing to find quite a bit of time, and he's finding a second and a half going through the third sector. A33 BT goes faster than anyone, 39.632, 6 thousandths of a second quicker than Noah 48, as Wilco has a problem going through the long right-hander. Into the chicane then, can he just recover a little bit at that time? Because there looks like a very, very dry line actually at the end of the lap. And Mr. Wilco goes 10th fastest, 41.2. A very, very good lap from him. Both Squidge and Tess in the pit lane at the moment, where is Djokovic not improving through the first sector, which is a bad omen for the rest of the lap. Kit W73 is the first time we got on board with him this session, if I'm not mistaken. He's going through the first sector at the moment. He's currently still in P8 on a 140.959. It's a lot of numbers being thrown out at the moment. But there's a lot of lap times to keep switching around. Matty Adam right now outside the top 10. I didn't see that coming. 41.604. As here comes Kid across the first sector split, half a second's improvement. So the track is just continuing to get better and better. And hopefully that gives us a bit of a shook up grid for the start of this race, is my hope. It's going to give us very, very entertaining racing action, I can promise you that. A53 BT at the moment on provisional pole position. We are expecting that to change a plentiful of times before we get to the end of this session. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining as the time of speaking. See, BT's in the pit lane. He needs to be coming out again to just cover off the chance. But I reckon whoever gets the last lap here might be on pole position. Undercheck goes fastest out of anyone. 39.2, 4 tenths ahead of BT. As here comes Kit, rounds the final couple of corners, and now into the chicane. Throws it in there. Second gear, taking a lot of curb there and taking quite a tight line. But it is working for him. You've got to follow the dry line as Kit has a problem. But he's still going to improve, actually, up into P7. What that lap could have been had he not had that problem. Matty Adam, faster than anyone at the moment. 39.1, just outside the top 10. Straight up into P1. That is the level of improvement that this track is currently going under. As where is ABT and why is he not coming out of the pit lane? He's retired from the session. We are not going to see A53 BT again. Noah goes fastest. Where is Tess in all of this? He's improving by 6.5 tenths of a second for the first sector. Why is ABT retired there? I thought he was in the hunt for pole position or a very, very good position. Now, with the way this track is drying up, we might see BT well down the order. That's concerning to me why he's retired there. I don't understand. But it is what it is. Test then going through Maggots and Beckett to switch out on circuit as well. Test improving by 1.1 seconds at the moment. That will see him up to a 39 flat, but he needs to find a little bit of an improvement to get by Noah 48 in the Aston Martin. Now then, Tess into the final couple of corners. He's running behind one of the Audis. Is that Undercheck or is it Djokovic? We're about to find out. As Tess goes into P2, but is not quite enough for P1 with 1 shot of the lap to go. Where is Matty Adam? He's going to have one more go at this fully charged battery. 20 seconds left on the clock. Who's going to be last across that line? I reckon will be one of the McLaren. They should probably be Wildcat, who is last to cross the line to start a lap, but he's not. Is he going to have the time to? 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. He's timed it to perfection. Wildcat is probably going to have the best position out of anyone to get a lap in here. No, at the moment, provisionally P1, but is that going to be good enough? Tess is not improving through the first sector. Noah, I believe, has not yet scored a pole position in NEF1. That is going to be interesting to follow. Matty, we didn't get the sector 1 time. We're going to have to look at the sector 2 times. So where are the Audis in all of this? Undercheck is going into Maggots and Beckett's ahead of Tess. And he is harvesting battery through Maggots and Beckett's as well. Here we go, then on to the back straight. Just a little bit of a snap of oversteer. Not improving. What is Tess doing? Not improving. What is Matty doing? Not improving through the first sector. Is he going to be improving through the second sector? Are we going to have an Aston Martin on pole position? Matty not improving here. Djokovic improved up to 5th place. Squidge is only good enough for P6. Matty Adam is being left by one of the slower cars ahead of him. Ondrejek comes across line. Not improving. Tess, is it good enough? No, it isn't. Matty Adam is the last man who can stop Noah's first potential pole position in NEF1 here. Matty Adam comes across line. Will it be good enough? No, it is not. P3 for Matty Adam, and it's Noah 48 on pole position for the British Grand Prix. We're expecting a lap from Wildcat as well, but it is not going to be good enough for pole position. Could it be good enough for an improvement on the cars ahead of him? We'll wait and see. Wildcat stays 19th fastest. Noah 48 on home soil takes his first pole position of the season, and that is a qualifying session and a qualifying lap that is absolutely amazing to watch. Tess did everything he could but he comes up a tenth of a second short. Matty Adam in third. Audi looking very, very strong, but not quite strong enough. Noah qualifies on pole position. But what a lap then. Djokovic in P5, Squidge qualifying in P6, 8 tenths back. A33 BT in P7 alongside his Alpine teammate E69. Wigan in the top 10, followed by Reina as well. This creates a very, very intriguing situation for the Grand Prix that is to come. Are we going to have wet conditions? Are we reverting back to dries? Is the age-old question, but congratulations to Noah on the pole position. It's going to be a dry race as well. So now then, battery will absolutely come into play during this race. We are going to go to a little bit of a break before we get this race underway. I hope you have enjoyed that qualifying session. It's been one of the better qualifying sessions I think I've ever done commentary on in this league. We're going to go to a couple of minutes worth of a break before we get the British Grand Prix underway. You don't want to miss out on that, so stay tuned. We'll be back within a couple of minutes time for about 26 laps of racing around Silverstone. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss out on it. As here we go then, we are back and we are relatively set to go. Not quite yet, however, it'll just be a minute more waiting. I was thinking we're just gonna go over the current calendar so you got the dates in order as well and talk about a little thing that's coming up, which is the Belgium sprint race next week. Now, Sprint races around with the top 10 in the reverse championship order set of starting grid. P11 to 22 start in championship order. The top 10 are reversed. So basically, whomever finishes P10 this race will start on pole position for the next one, for the sprint race then. The result of the sprint race sets the grid for the Grand Prix. So don't want to miss out on that one as well. Belgium should provide for plenty of overtaking and a very, very difficult time with the battery management as well. Such will be the nature of the season, you would imagine. But the ready up has been given. We should be set to go any minute now for this race. Noah, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time starting on pole position, but I could be. He's been here for quite a couple of seasons now. Possible to remember every single race. He's got Tess alongside him on the front row with Matty in third place. So here we go, and we are just going to get everything in order for the race start. Noah on the formation lap then pulls away nicely. Tess in P2, Matty in third, followed by the Audis, Ondracek and Djokovic. That could be a team to watch out for, let me tell you. Squidge 2017 in the Mercedes, not the qualifying that he would have wanted, starting P6 on the grid here in his home Grand Prix, followed by a FET3 BT and E69. Wigan 71 starting in the top 10 early on the season. That'll bring him a little confidence boost. And Reina is P10. You're going to want to close up that gap a little bit. Mr. Wilco, P11, followed by Kit in 12. O2 Hazy, not quite liking his initial run in the wet conditions. He's starting in 13th place with Max in 14th. Ray all the way down in 15th place. He struggled during this qualifying session. Alongside, so did Iwatts, so did Halo. Tiger Octave in P18. Wildcat got the best opportunity out of anyone really to get something going, but wasn't able to convert it. He starts P19 this race. So then, we've got to put our attention to this battle out front. Noah, not experienced with leading races, starting on pole, battling for wins. Now then, Tess Matty, very, very used to this situation. Are they going to be able to put Noah under a lot of pressure, try to force him to crack? And how easy is overtaking going to be here in the dry conditions as well? It's mostly going to come down to battery management in order to defend. And what is going to happen at the end of lap 1? Overtake is going to be enabled. That'll give everyone running within a second of the car head a little bit of extra deployment and recharge to help get by. Noah then, starting in P1, Tess alongside him. What is going to happen on this start? Is Tess going to be able to get by going into turn 3 to be on this circuit? We'll wait and see. It's going to be an intriguing start. Potential to stop strategy as well. But here we go. For the first time this season, we are waiting on the lights. And it's lights out and away we go, and Noah gets a very, very decent getaway. Matty might just have a little bit of an edge on Tess, but not quite. He's right swooping around the outside of turn 1, and that might actually work. Matty comes through and he dives it down the inside of Noah, going into the fast braking zone. Matty takes the lead at Grand Prix. That's a great start from the Red Bull driver. Noah comes right back at him, and it's hard racing already. 3 wide almost, going into the following left-hander onto the first long straight. Noah right on the back of Matty Adam, and here comes Tess, which up 2 positions as well. Noah dives it down the inside of Matty Adam right on the start. Matty holds it round, and these cars, you really can battle a little bit harder than you could with the previous generation, which is lovely to see. Noah, Matty Adam still alongside each other, going into Cop's corner. We've seen this before. Matty diving it down the inside of Cops and leaves Noah very little on the outside. Beautiful racing between the two, but they're still side by side. Half a lap later, Matty into Maggins and Beckett's, just pulls ahead. Noah has to concede at P1. However, it's not all done and dusted. How much battery have they spent battling? Here comes Tess, and he beats out of this race, and it is a virtual safety car just as Noah was falling down a couple of positions. Tess was going to have a go at Matty Adam. And Reina gets a 10-second penalty for a collision with O2 Hazy. A33 BT, who looked so promising in qualifying, starts off the season with DNF on the first lap. And it is just typical of his luck. He is out here very, very early on. Matty leads the British Grand Prix from Tess, and Noah was able to hang on to third. Undercheck in fourth, followed by Squidge and E69. Ooh, and that was an intense opening lap for sure. And I've got a feeling we're going to get more of that because green flags are waved. And here we go then. Matty now going to have to go defensive on Tess. And now we're going to bring up the telemetry because now you're definitely going to want to see what battery levels apply. Tess on the back of Matty. Now I'm not going to be talking about battery level too much to aid any particular driver. You're just going to have to see that at the bottom of your screen, but it is information that you, the viewer, will have access to. Noah, what kind of a pressure will he be put under from Undercheck is the question as well. Can he just stop the bleeding a little bit? I believe Noah's actually helped quite significantly by timing of that virtual safety car. But now, no overtake mode as far as I'm aware on this particular lap. But here we go, Matty Adam and Tess. You can see the red light start flashing on the Red Bull of Matty Adam. Tess is nowhere close enough to making an overtake stick. Who's had good starts, who's had bad starts? I'm Reina down a couple of positions, so is Kit. Any really good starters? Tiger Octave and Ray catch your attention just looking at the graph on the left hand side of the screen. So Undercheck fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. That might continue to change a couple of times throughout. That fastest lap point available to anyone throughout the entire field. So everyone still got something to fight for, even at the end of the race if you're stuck in P17 or P18 and plumb lost in this race. Here we go then. Overtake has been enabled, and are we now going to see Tess try to get by the Red Bull and into the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time this season? No, not quite. Undercheck though is trying to get by Noah 48, who hasn't had the best of starts to his Grand Prix. From P1, is he now going to have to yield and go into P4? He's sticking it down the inside of Undercheck, but it's not quite good enough. Undercheck into P3, and the man with the longest win streak in any F1 history is up into a podium place. Squidge now past Noah as well, going into Maggots and Beckett. Noah not having the start he would have dreamt of. Here is Tess and Matty Adam. And how difficult is this going to be? Matty, red light starts flashing. Tess, is he going to try to send it around the outside? No, not yet. But when is, what's my thinking, when do you go for that move? Do you potentially want to make a move into the chicane? And no, you do not if you're Tess. When is that move coming? Overtake mode still enabled for the Ferrari. The straight mode coming up as well. Squidge, fastest man on circuit at the moment. He's joined the battle for the podium places because somehow he's gone past Undercheck as well, which we completely missed. Noah now running P5, and Djokovic is coming up to the scene behind him, and not quite yet. Wiggins had a decent start as well, up to P8. That would have been... I don't know who he's taking the position away from. Potentially Reina, but I don't think so. He's gone past someone at least. Wiggins up into 8th place, and he's running a little bit lonelier than most cars. Could be an advantage. Matty Adam then still leading this race from Tess and Squidge. And even with every part of these cars being new, we still have the same top 3, but at least Undercheck, Noah and Djokovic very much involved in the battle. There's going to be a different style of racing this season, I can promise you that, because here comes Squidge, maybe around the outside into Maggots and Beckett's, but not quite. But then on the hanger straight, how much battery does Tess and Matty still have? Squidge flies by one, he goes towards the other, maybe around the outside to go from P3 into P1 in one fell swoop. Not quite, however, into the chicane, he placed himself on the inside. Matty Adam just on the outside. Squidge there. Was he just behind at the overtake detection point? I think he was, and if that was intentional, he timed it to perfection. Matty still leads this race, but Squidge is up at P2, and he is having a very, very good day in dry conditions, because now he's sending it down the inside of Matty Adam, but he spins! Oh, and he collects Noah at the end as well. Noah losing a front wing end plate, and Squidge with the first mistake of the season, I believe. He's now falling back a little bit. I don't think his car was damaged as a result of it. Noah certainly is, and that is going to be costing him a significant amount of downforce. Yeah, you can see that car is not steering through these long, fast corners, and that might be an early pit stop for Noah. He'll be pissed off with Squidge for that for sure. Undercheck now into the lead of this Grand Prix as a result of all of this. Matty Adam in P2, and he's broken 1.6 second gap as Undercheck. So I'm very, very curious to see how that happened. It must have happened when the contact and situation with Squidge occurred, or unless Matty made a separate mistake at some point over the lap. But if he did, I did not catch it. Squidge now passed Djokovic, but that incident I'm sure will be under investigation. It looked like Squidge just came loose on the exit of turn 3 and just started having a slow spin. Noah wasn't able to react to it in the situation that he was in. Noah comes into the pit lane at the end of lap 6. Beginning of lap 6, sorry. Oh, that is a rough situation for Noah. The man who was on pole position for this race now in a very, very different strategy. If nothing else, we'll see what he's able to do with it. His teammate, though, is having a very, very good race. He's battling E69 for P6 at the moment. Debut, almost a debut race, you could say. It's been many, many years since E69 was the latest racing in New Era. He was racing against me back in Season 1. Now Ray with the advantageous line going in to the left-hander, and he gets the move done. Ray up at a P6 for Aston Martin. Very, very crucial, because Noah might have a bit of a rough go at it. But now we're going to see how much an undercut is worth around here. Djokovic going along well as well the Audi, and he is up in P5, or he's remaining in P5. Within contention still for podium and race-winning position. He's just a little bit behind Squidge at the moment. Squidge and Testan, who's going to come out victorious in that battle. You will have seen better overtakes than that. Squidge blasting past Tess on the straight, and there's nothing that the reigning champion can do about that one. Matty Adam has caught up to the back of Undercheck, and that didn't take him long. 1.6 seconds gone in 2 laps. So Undercheck not having the best of times at the moment. Matty Adam will be awarded the overtake as such. The question is, when is he going to try to make his move? Matty Adam right now has been very, very solid over the course of this race, and oh, this is a style of racing with moves every now and again that you would not see in the old generation of cars. I can promise you that, and it's a nice little cut inside from Matty Adam, who takes that position straight away from Undercheck. How much do you want to deploy? Because you got to recharge your battery quite a little bit for the back straights, and Matt will be aware of that, because now Squidge is right there as well, past Undercheck, and up to P2. Undercheck now in a bit of a weird situation where he hasn't got that overtake mode, but he'll have a Ferrari that is going to be very, very, very desperate to get by. This could be the championship battle, these four as well. Matty, Squidge, Undercheck, and Tess, and I'd be very interested to see if it becomes the case. Squidge and Matty swapping positions before Maggots and Beckes then. How much is battery going to come into play, do you reckon? Quite a bit, because here comes Matty Adam down the inside once again and overtakes what they somehow mean even less than they used to last season. But it is racing at different points of the circuit, I can promise you that. Matty Adam once again leads the British Grand Prix, and what's going on further back? E69 has just lost track of Rail, but is still within overtake range, I believe. But he's not within battling range. He's actually lost out on overtake mode. So that's E69 just a little bit out of it. Mr. Wilco and Macas is having a decent race, both of them up into the top 10. Double points finish for Racing Bulls as things stand, we're only about a third of the way through this race, so a lot can still happen. Wigan actually running along very, very nicely, but he's about to have company from those Racing Bulls. As the battle at the front continues, Squidge and Matty Adam, we're going to go away from that little battle for the time being. We're going to have to do this over the course of the season. Just ignore the battle at the front and come back to it, because the midfield deserves a bit of love as well. Mr. Wilco right now putting Wigan under pressure in his McLaren. As our Halo is coming up to this battle as well. Hasn't been able to make an impression yet this race, but he's up 6 positions on his start, and Mr. Wilco and Mac is swapping positions for whatever reason there. And that is holding them both up a little bit. Through Max and Beckett's then. You can see battery status on the bottom of your screen, so this is going to be an interesting situation now. Is Wigan going to be able to defend? Red light flashing immediately, and Mr. Wilco is going to eat him up, and for whatever reason he decided to go down the inside of Wigan. I don't really know why, because that gap was covered off very, very early. But Mr. Wilco is up into P8. Wigan going into the pit lane. That's a bit unexpected, but it is what it is. How is Noah getting along down in P16 now? He's just hot lapping, you would imagine, on a set of hard tires. Probably the best idea, but he's not running in any real traffic. He's having a little bit of a ding-dong potentially with O2 Hazy. As long as that's not costing him time, it could place him back into contention with a different strategy or a well-timed safety car come this race. Tess on reject then. Not able to make that work. Not able to make that work. Tess at the moment occupied with the battle for P3. The battle for P2 seems to be heating up a little bit though, because Squidge has just put a little bit of a margin on Matty Adam, but then again, with the deployment of a couple of percent worth of battery, that margin is eaten up. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be something different doing commentary on these regulations of cars. It's going to take me a couple of races to work out what's what, so bear with me in the opening of this season. As with SSR Halo, and he's catching up to Mackers and Wigan now well within a second. He's now at the absolute back of Mackers, and is he going to have a little go at the Racing Bulls? You would assume he'd like to, if nothing else, as here comes Wigan. Almost looked like he was driving backwards at the end of the straight. A little bit of a ding-dong ahead of him. Wigan and Mackers. So we have a dangerous situation going into the pit lane, and I'm sure that'll be reviewed after the race. It was that Wigan and Halo almost coming together. Wigan wanted into the pit lane, I believe. Halo was on his outside. That's what I could tell, but I'm not sure it's correct. That could have been very, very dangerous. Halo just getting out of it, but he's lost a bit of time to Mackers. iWatts now into the top 10 for Red Bull. Keep that in mind. You can see the helmet there, at least is Red Bull colored. And Tiger Octave running within the top 10 as well. As they got the tire graphs, the entirety of the top 8 at the moment running medium tires. Which, not unexpected, should be a relatively straightforward one-stop race with everyone pitting around lap 11 or 12, you would imagine, onto a set of hard tires. As Matty Adam once again leads this race from Squidge and Ondrajek. That's about to change, because here comes Squidge and he absolutely flies by the Red Bulls. The question now, is Undercheck going to follow? Not quite. Here we go then, 3-second time penalties once again for the first time this season. Kit W73. As then we've had something happen. SR Halo moves by Mackers 97, and Tess goes into the pit lane then and triggers the pit stop phase from P4 on the field, I believe it was. And Halo gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Tess then, hard tires go on the Ferrari and back out. And is it going to find a little bit of clean air, or is it going to run into a Mercedes/Red Bull of iWatts? He's actually probably going to find the back of Tiger Octave on this exit. Maybe even Kid as well. Yeah, it's a long pit lane around here. You don't want to pit more than once, I can tell you that. Tess then comes out with almost a full battery, which is the incentive to pit almost as well in this game. But he comes out in a little bit of traffic, and everyone ahead will have to be wary of that. Squidge and Matty Adam will absolutely take notice. Djokovic and Ondrejek now running third and fourth. Ondrejek has lost a heap of time to his teammate, so he must have made a mistake somewhere, is my thinking. Because he's not too far ahead of Ray now. He's actually closer to Ray than he is to Djokovic ahead. So then, are we going to have the top two pitting as well? Yes, we do. Squidge and Mackers. Oh, sorry, Squidge and Matty, not Mackers. Both going into the pit lane here. Djokovic staying out an extra lap, so he's doing some sort of an overcut. Ondrejek as well, so the Audis both going longer. Ray going longer as well. Iwat's coming in. There we go. Iwat's into the pit lane, and where is Tess coming out in comparison to the other? Squidge just coming out ahead of Tess. Matty behind Tiger Octave, and he needs to get by that Cadillac ASAP in order to not lose out too much here. And he's straight by the Cadillac, but he's 1.5 seconds down on Tess and Squidge now, who are going to start eating up an advantage on Djokovic and Ondrejek, who should have boxed a lap ago. I don't understand why they've left it so late. Is the undercut proving very, very effective here. And where is Noah in comparison to Tess? It's an early pit stop for him, but he's lost quite a significant amount of time just running and not having the overtake probably as well. It's actually costing you time on this game. So Noah then, difficult opening race for him after what looked to be a very, very promising opening qualifying session. As Djokovic into the pit lane, then yellow flags through sector 2. Maggots and Beckett, what's going on there? Might have been something to do with one of the Cadillacs behind who's dropping down. That's Tiger Octave, who's lost a heap of time, and he's got a puncture. Tiger Octave has got a puncture going through sector 3. Everyone beware, he'll be needing to dive into the pit lane. That's the first puncture of the season for Tiger Octave. Now it's that happening. He's left it 11 laps on a set of medium tires. That's high wear. He's going to need 10-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. That was almost a guarantee. Don't know why he's not even tried to slow down there. But then Tiger Octave going into the pit lane with a puncture, and that is why those yellow flags were called. I didn't quite get it at first. Then just you saw that car understeer, you saw the wobble on the left-hand side, the front of the car. Matty Adams now caught up to the back of Tess, who has lost the back of Squidge 2017 by a significant amount, 1.9 seconds, and that is... If this is the true pace of Squidge, where we might be in for something special over the course of this season. Squidge is looking very, very good this race, I must say. Matt is looking like he can match him. Tess is just looking a little bit out of it with these current regulations. He's about to be passed by potential championship rival Matty Adam. There wasn't really anything that Tess could do about that particular one. Ondrejek comes into the pit lane, but he's going to lose out a heap of time here. By just staying out a couple of extra laps. So he's 6'9", 4-lap or medium tires. Those won't make it to the end. We can relatively certainly establish that. We're about halfway into this race now. Ondrejek is... wow. Wow, he's losing time. Okay, so he comes out behind Noah 48. He comes out a good 6 seconds probably behind his teammate, and what on earth has happened to Ondrejek's race? It was looking on for a podium finish, if not even being able to challenge for a win now. he'll be hard-pressed to make it into the top 5. So on the check, we're going to have to keep our eyes on over the course of this stint. S12, Hasey and Ray going at it for P8 at the moment. Ray's going to emerge victorious in that little battle. S12 Hasey just having to yield come the end of it in that Haas that looks absolutely gorgeous, by the way. So then, Matty Adam now 3 seconds behind Squidge 2017, who's been able to check out in front. Tess not able to get by Matty Adam on this occasion, but they're just losing time to Squidge, who's now able to run the race that he wants to. Doesn't have to use his battery in any defensive or attacking way. You can just use it to optimize lap time. Meanwhile, this is going on, Matty is having to use his battery defensively because Tess is all over him. Djokovic 4.4 seconds behind him. We can see if he can start closing that gap a little bit now by doing the same battery optimization that Squidge is now able to do. It's the thing that will be very, very intriguing. Ondracek past Noah then, and coming up to E69. There's a couple of penalties at play at the moment here. We're going to have a look at that. Azar Halo, 10-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. Same for Tiger Octaf, who it didn't appear like he even tried to slow down for the pit lane entry. I don't know why. And a couple of 3-second time penalties for E69, Wigan, Mackers, Kit, and Wildcat. Also would be one for Halo, wouldn't it, with his 13 seconds worth of penalties. So everyone now having made at least one pit stop, but I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of controversy towards the end of this Grand Prix. Maybe a late safety car or something like that. We'll wait and see. We had one in Spain last time after the practice race. We'll wait and see what happens at the end of this one, but it's been a very, very good British Grand Prix so far. It's been an excellent British Grand Prix and an excellent opening weekend. Here is Ondracek on the back of returning E69 F1. He's going to be able to make short work of the Alpine as well. You'd think so, and yes he does. Ondracek straight by and up into the top 5, and now he's going to start chasing down his teammate to get back into the maybe not podium contention this race, that might be gone, but get back into a challenging position. As Tess right on the chuff of Matty Adam, but he cannot get by the Red Bull, and I think that these drivers are learning about as much as real life drivers were learning during the opening couple of races as well. Battery optimization now, the battles are looking quite significantly different actually from what they were looking at the beginning of this race. This is giving them a little bit of information. Meanwhile, Squidge 2017, 3.5 seconds ahead, has completely checked out. So it's a very well done to Squidge, because he's running a beautiful Grand Prix at the moment. Right now as well, the man on pole position next week, if you ignore penalties, would be Wigan 71 by process of top 10 championship reversal. However, there's a fastest lap at play here as well, but that currently falls to Matty Adam 98. So then, these cars sound incredibly depressing when they're out of battery. Just listen to Mr. Wilco going through Maggots and Beckett's with absolutely no battery, by the way. Very, very depressing listening to. You can see the acceleration as well. The cars, they don't do anything without battery here. They're so battery dependent. It's crazy. Ray has gotten by Ondracek once again. Bad news for the former world champion, as Noah is still involved in this as well, but he'll probably have to pit again, you would imagine. 11 lap all the hard tires. He'd be hard pressed making those last to the end. If he can, that'll be a very, very valiant effort. If he doesn't, then you should probably consider pitting about now and going into some sort of a damage limitation. If you pit now, potentially with new medium tires, you might be able to catch Halo, Mackers and Wigan by the end of the race and try to get by them. You should have a gap down to E69 potentially. We'll have to wait and see what Noah likes to do as Ray loses a bit of time, goes behind, as Wildcat then gets a 3-second time penalty. So Tess then has lost out a heap of time on Matty Adam, now 1.5 seconds behind, and Matty Adam 4.4 seconds behind the lead of the Grand Prix. So we can now check out of the battle at the front and go on board with O2 Hasey, who's chasing down an E69 on a brand new set of soft tires. And I reckon it'll be hard pressed to make those last to the end of the Grand Prix. The medium tires, well, Reina's made them last 14 laps. Ideally, you'd want to run about 10 on them, you would reckon, before they start actually falling off. E69 is going to have to do 10 laps on a set of soft tires. I would not touch those for probably more than 2 or 3 laps at the end of late safety car. Bit of an interesting strategy call, but those are the only 2 drivers within a second of each other on the circuit at the moment. The massive lag spike for E69 as well. Hasey's just going to have to be a little bit wary of that. 2 returning drivers to NEF1, by the way, involved in this battle for P11 at the moment. E69 nowhere near Wigan, who you would imagine is not going to have to pit again with the strategy that he's currently on. So E69, he's got catching up to do. Wigan at the moment running solid for that 10th place. Keep in mind Halo as well has that 10-second time penalty he'll have to serve somehow, and that could see him down quite a couple of positions. Djokovic gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit violations, and those are the types of penalties you can't really afford, because Djokovic at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, is catching the back of Tess, the man who last denied him a race win in Bahrain a couple of seasons ago when Djokovic was very, very close to it. Come the end of the Grand Prix, Tess denied him on the last lap, so I'm sure Djokovic would like to deny Tess a podium here. That 3-second time penalty is not going to help him one bit with that, I'm afraid. As Tess, I think, is pushing like a madman to try to stay out of range here on Djokovic. We'll wait and see how this transpires. 5.5 seconds is the gap, and Squidge has well and truly checked out of this race. Jesus. It could be in for, I hate to break it, we could be in for complete and utter domination this season if this pace from Squidge continues. Keep in mind the gap at the front is so incredibly close that 5 seconds is a gap that under normal circumstances you shouldn't be able to create at the front really in this league. Somehow he's managed to do it. I'd love to see where Matty and Tess both lost time, both to Squidge but to each other as well. This is absolutely fascinating. He's continuously losing time, is Matty Adam. He's gaining a little bit back on it on the straights. Noah's left session will work on getting him straight back. That's the settings tab. And new for this season as well, we have increased the AI difficulty just a little bit, so the lap time won't be as noticeable if you drop out of a lobby, but it's still costing you a heap of time because Max is closing at quite a rapid rate. Noah has received an invite. Let me know if you need another one. Please do so in Twitch chat if that is the case. But a tough day for Noah 48 right now, and hopefully the AI doesn't hit him if he doesn't want to go into the pit lane. It's my second concern. 14 lap old hard tires. They've done about as long as you'd want them to do in an optimal strategy. And yeah, you can see Squidge and Matty's hard tires are both going to do 14 laps at the end of the Grand Prix. And Rain has pulled 16 laps on a set of medium tires, and really for no reason. He's battling for P14, but now he's just costing himself pace. Obviously, if he pits now, he'll be second last, only ahead of Wildcat. Those medium tires, I mean, yeah, you can just see there, he can't turn in. You can see the graining on the front left tire. It looks awful. And it does not look like a happy car. That is now punctured as well. And Reina has a puncture, and now is going to he's gonna make it round an entire lap here. And Reina Is this Amrena out of this race, you reckon? Potentially Amrena is out of this race on the infield, and is that going to trigger a safety car? I don't know. Amrena out of this race then at the end of lap 21. It's a bad week for the Cadillac driver and the Cadillac team. Tiger Octave down in P16 at the moment as Noah Van goes into the pit lane, and that is under total control of his AI. We're going to give Noah one final invite as well, see if we can get him back here. So I can't now find Noah on my list either. So that is Noah Van out of contention, you would imagine. Squidge 5.7 seconds ahead. Djokovic not able to catch Tess, and we are potentially looking at a locked podium here as to what is going on. That's two. Now we gotta have a look at the penalties. As Sar Halo with that 13-second time penalty left himself incredibly vulnerable with 5 laps to go, and that I'm very, very glad that that Amrena puncture didn't trigger a safety car. That could have kicked off all sorts of things come the end of the race. It would have been very, very entertaining. Let's not have that level of controversy in the fast race. Cy Watts is just a little bit hesitant to overtake Mr. Wilco there. What happened to Mr. Wilco in this race as well? He was running along well inside the top 10 a couple of laps ago. Now running in 14th place, out of contention, while his teammates still in that position where we expected Mac to be as well. As E69 is retired from this race, coming out of Maggots and Beckett. And that is our safety car. E69 then out of the race. We have a late safety car now. Oh, Squidge is going to be kicking and screaming with the timing of that. Squidge now, his 8-second advantage, I believe it was. Okay, 5.7 second advantage, all eaten up. The winner was guaranteed, now very much in danger. And now this is bringing everyone to play. What this is doing is demolishing Halo's race. He needs to go into the pit lane now, serve that 10-second time penalty, or he'll be at the back no matter what on this restart, depending on how long the safety car is. But it could be a long one. As to what happened to E69, I don't quite know, unfortunately. But I'm sure we'll find out after the race. Could that potentially have been a puncture for E69 if he brought those soft tires into a wrong window as well? So that's the third puncture this Grand Prix. We usually have no punctures over the course of a season. I don't know what happened to E69. It's a horrible week for Alpine. It's a horrible week at the moment for Cadillac, unless Tiger Octave can miraculously save it. Squidge then into the pit lane. Medium tires with only a couple of laps to go. Matty Adam and Tess both in. What are they putting on? It is soft tires for Matty Adam. What is going on? The Ferrari. Matty doing the same gamble as he did in Spain. I believe it's soft tires going on the Ferrari of Tess as well. Djokovic into the pit lane. Soft tires. Squidge has left himself vulnerable on mediums. Ray has stayed out here regardless of his 3-second time penalty. If he can stay ahead of a couple of these cars, that might actually pay off. We'll wait and see. It is really the only chance that he have maybe getting a top 5 or top 7 finish. I'm a bit uncertain about the wiseness of that choice. What it does do is create a beautiful buffer to for Squidge 2017. So he's going to be loving that decision from Ray, actually. Matty, Adam and Tess on the soft tires are going to be screaming. Matty's going to be screaming at his old teammate at the moment, by the way, as well. Because those soft tires with only a couple of laps on them should be pretty alright. So then Djokovic with a free second time penalty in P5 at the moment, under check. Actually in a decent position now without penalties. Noah would be in a good position. I'm gonna try sending him one final invite. If I can find him, unfortunately I can't. SSR Halo has got rid of his 10 second time penalty. O2 Hayes in a good position at the moment. Anyone unpenalized right now could be looking good for a points finish. Squidge is going to have to make the most out of these opening corners when Ray is potentially holding up Matty Adam. The question is, how much does Matty battery burn to... to get by Ray here on the restart? How much of a fight does Ray put up as well? I reckon quite a bit. I have a feeling we're going to have a couple of things to look at after this race as well. So then, if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, which I think it's programmed to, we'll have 2 laps of running to do at the end of this race, which I think is minimum. See the graph there on your left-hand side of penalties. We're going to switch over to tyres. 11 lap old hard tyres for Ray. We've seen this a couple of times. It's never ever gone well for anyone who stayed out on those on that age of tyre. But we'll wait and see if Ray can pull it off. Squidge on the mediums, doing something different than everyone else who has elected to come into the pit lane behind. So then, the safety car is coming in this lap, and now that means Squidge is just going to be controlling the pace on this restart. So he sets the pace that he wants to go at, and everyone has to maintain a single file formation behind. Stop the weaving to not have any problems on the restart. And then when Squidge decides to go, he can restart this race. We have a Haas weaving in the background. That's O2 Hasty. Stop that immediately. And we should be set to go. So Noah 48 has joined this session again. That is lovely, lovely news if he can participate in the final shootout of this race. When is Squidge going to go? When is he going to go? He leaves this late, and there he goes, just before the chicane. I thought he was going to leave it until the middle of the chicane, just relying on him having significantly better grip than Ray. But here we go then. Matty on Ray is the thing that we're going to be paying our utmost attention to. It's going to be so crucial for Matty to get by Ray in this maybe even opening sector. At the moment, Squidge is just pulling ahead, and he's doing so rather quickly. Matty, not the best of restarts as well. Those soft tires not too fired up, it seems. Djokovic is all over Tess at the moment, and Ondrejek is there as well. They're switching positions. Squidge has broken a 1 second advantage immediately on Ray. But those are the things that are not unexpected. Here comes Matty Adam, and he's getting closer and closer to the Aston Martin. He needs to get ahead, maybe even before Kopp's corner. I think he realizes that, and he just deploys a little bit to get by. Here comes Tess as well. And now it might be a battle of who wants to have a go at Squidge before the end of the race. Matty at the moment leads that race. Tess is deploying quite heavy, so is Matty. What is Squidge doing out front? Losing time is the question. Is the thing that's going on at the moment. But 1 lap to go, 1 second. Soft tire versus medium tire. Matty will be hard pressed to find an opportunity to get by. Ray has re-overtaken Tess, and now he's backing up the field. The question is, how wise is it for Ray to be doing this type of battling? Because he's holding everyone up behind him. Here comes Ondrejek on Tess, gets a massive snap of oversteer coming out of the chicane. Ray holds P3 at the moment. And keep in mind, Macca's, Djokovic, Wigan, behind, all with 3-second time penalties. If this stands, Ray might only lose 2 positions to Tess and Ondercheck, and that could be, with penalties applied, a P5, which, to be fair, is fair play Ray. Here comes Matty Adam. He is on the back of Squidge. Squidge, who dominated the last stint of this race, is now fully under pressure from Matty Adam on the soft tyres. And is he going to be able to make this work? Come the final couple of corners of the British Grand Prix, the Squidge has looked so in control of. Late safety car drama, E69 crashing out, coming out of Magnus Beckers. We've seen it so many times around this particular circuit. Squidge and Matty will now come down to one final straight. And how much is Matty going to have to play with? How good of an exit can he get from Magnus Beckers? Because soft tyre so much better through these final couple of corners. The run he gets is practically non-existent. Squidge has played this masterfully. He is so incredibly good with these cars. And I don't think it matters what happens now. Squidge 2017 had it covered. Matty had to push like a madman to get ahead. But it does not... Squidge had to push like a madman to stay ahead. Matty pushed like a madman to catch up. Squidge wins the first race of the season with Matty in P2. Tess just comes home P3 in the end, but 3.6 seconds behind. Ondercheck in P4 there before the result screen disappears very, very quickly. Squidge leads the championship then, and he wins the first race of the season. What an end to the race, but it feels very, very fair that Squidge went on to win that one as well. He dominated once he got out in front. Matty did something different. I'm sure he would have liked to get by Ray there on the restart a little bit earlier, but it wasn't the name of the game. Tess just gets onto the podium, crucial for his championship challenge in the end. Once again, it's a brand new regulation of car, but it is the same top 3 dominating the league once again. Ondercheck and Djokovic both up there as well should be mentioned. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they'll be able to accomplish through the season. As there we have the result screen. Ondercheck comes home in 4th place, followed by Noah in 5th. Mackers comes home P6 in the end, so it's good recovery from Noah, and I'm very, very glad to see it. O2 Hasey points on re-return as Ray finishes P8 in the end, ahead of Djokovic and Halo, who then will take pole position for the sprint race around Belgium. Djokovic lined it up on the front row of the grid on that occasion as well. Wigan just missing out as a result of a 3-second time penalty as well. Iwatts finishes P12, yielding no points there, unfortunately for him. But that is the start to new regulation of car that I think could be very, very exciting. Now, Squidge is leading the championship on 25 points. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens the first time we go sprint racing around Belgium as well. Bit of a difficult and different circuit. But until then, we'll wait and see what happens in a week's time when NEF1 returns. Thank you very much for watching the first race of the season. We will see you in a week's time once again around Belgium. Stay tuned for that one. Everyone, have a good one. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a good one, and peace out.